Well, I'm out here today on this very sunny day, having a play around with my OXBOT Lumo 18, which I've reviewed before. It's a great little drone. More importantly, I'm using the new OXBOT R1 controller, which I have to say is absolutely fantastic and a total surprise. So let me get my chest cam on, I'll show you what it's about, and then we'll get in on the bench and I'll run through the specs and tell you what it's all about. Hello and welcome to the Whirly Bloke channel. Well, here's the controller. It's very nice. It's a game style controller, which looks fantastic. This display is outstanding, I have to say. This comes pre-configured. All you've got to do is bind it, and everything's set up on the switches that I usually like using. So I've got an arm switch, which is ready to go. This is your flight mode, angle, horizon, acro, very nice. You've got a buzzer, which is good. And then over here you've got, I think it's on here, we've got turtle mode. So let me just give it a whiz around the garden on angle. Nice thing is when you fire it up, you get the timer on the front there. And yeah, you can pinch, you can do thumbs if you like, but the display on here is outstanding. And the way it's all set up, although it's using ELRS, is just out of the box brilliant. It's got a way of binding which is quite clever. I'll show you that in a minute, but yes, it's quite good. So I can flip into horizon. Well, it would help if I didn't drop the drone. And we can go into acro as well. I'm not going to because I'm trying to concentrate on flying this and talk to you at the same time. There we go, lost control already. Look down at the camera. There we go. Let's get this in on the bench and I'll run you through what it does, the specs and all the sort of clever features that it's got and what I think of it. Whee! I really like this. Come on, back you come. Awesome. As you can see, this is a stunning looking little game style controller, which is a little bit unusual in a way compared to all the other controllers that are around. Doesn't mean to say it's bad, it's just taking a different approach. So first off, it comes in a little carry case like this. You get a whole load of stuff. One thing you don't get is the batteries, which fit into the handles here. So you'll have to source those yourself. 18650s, that's fine. And you get this quick start guide with a whole load of stuff in it. But what I'll do is take you through what I've discovered from playing about this from this afternoon. So, as I said at the top, this comes pre-configured. When you turn it on, you basically just choose one of the pre-configured versions, which I'll show you in a minute, and that sets it up. You can use it for a quadcopter or whatever, and it sets it up in this mode. So I've got throttle, I've got pitch and roll here, and the way the controls, sorry, the switch is set up, so that becomes your arm switch by default. That's your flight mode switch, so that's angle, horizon and acro, and then that is your flip over, sorry, turtle mode. You've got a buzzer there, which is a not momentary, it's a state switch, which is controlling the buzzer. Trim controls are here. Feels very nice, feels very solid, looks great. You can get this in different colors. This is the Pro version, which has got the CNC gimbals, but there's a standard version which has got sort of molded plastic gimbals. And the display, well, it's just amazing. The interesting thing about this is it's using Express ELRS inside to communicate, which is very nice. And you've got I think this is the micro JLR connector on the back there, so you could put an external module on if you want. The sticks unscrew and they fit in little holes at the side here, speaker at the bottom, fan at the top. This seems to be some sort of aluminium heat sink, which is very nice. And yeah, let me run you through what it does. So like I said, when you arm it, the display is very clean. You can configure this display to look how you want. I've only played with it a little bit, so I don't know absolutely everything, but the bits I've played with, do look great. So when you arm it, this is the timer, so you can see what's going on. Very easy to read. That's why I showed you outside on my chest cam, because this is pretty bright. I think it's 800 nits. It's pretty bright outside, so you're going to be able to read this, and that's normally a problem with some of the color controllers, the color screens, sorry. Now, the thing that's different about this, it doesn't run OpenTX, it doesn't run EdgeTX. It's running some sort of closed source operating system that I think OXBOT have written themselves, maybe. It's a bit difficult to know. I haven't did a little bit of digging, I couldn't find out too much. But it's all very familiar, but things operate slightly differently. So as you can see, you've got these display on here, which is showing you all sorts of things, like the transmit power, the mode it's in, which would appear down there, the model that you've chosen, and so on. Now, if we scroll across this way, this allows you to pick the model that you want. I just picked the first one, which was nice and easy. And then there's ones for fixed wing, wing, V-tail, whatever you like. And you just the touchscreen is pretty responsive, I have to say, and it feels like a modern day phone, to be honest. If we scroll up here, this is where we get to more of the settings, so you can see your channel view, so you can see everything moving around like this, and check that the endpoints are where they should be. And where do we go? I can't remember. Oh, here we go back to there. This is showing you power settings. I've got it set to 100 milliwatts, but it does go up to 500 milliwatts, which is impressive. Then this is all your ELRS settings, so you can fiddle about with those. Same sort of things you can do in EdgeTX. All very nice. Finder, I'll come on to that in a minute. RF output, you can choose internal, which is Express ELRS 2.4 gig in here, or if you've got a module fitted on the back, then it will detect that and you can use that if you want. That's binding, let's talk about that in a minute. And then we can see channels, blah-de-blah. Do your stick calibration. It does actually force you to do a stick calibration when you first power it up. You know, choose a language, do the stick calibration, and then choose a model. It's got a screensaver, it's got a throttle lock, stick mode, so you can go mode 1, mode 2, just by a setting in here, which is very nice. Language and so on. And then there's a section which is firmware and updates and so on. So you can download the firmware from the OXBOT website when there's new versions. Now, let's go back to, I think you just hit the back button here. So the on-off button's there. These are trim settings for this. And then you can see all this stuff here. So let me see if I can fiddle about with some of this and show you what it does. So you can do model setup. You choose which one you want. And then you can say star 1, star 2. Star 1 was what I chose for this, which is just how the buttons and switches are assigned, which is the mode I showed you. So that's arm, flight mode, buzzer, and turtle mode there. Next takes you back to this, and you can fiddle about with this and make all sorts of setting changes, whatever you like. It really is quite impressive. The other thing we've got is, let's go back again. We scroll up here, that was the quick set, so I've already done that, so I'm repeating myself. Over here is a whole load of stuff to do with the telemetry. Haven't explored this yet, so I'm not 100% sure what that's about. But anyway, let's go back to here. And then if we scroll down, this allows us to choose a number of things. So we can change the brightness of the display. Very good. You can change the volume of the speaker, which is at the bottom here, which is very good. Then you can lock this screen if you want to, which is fine. So it's all very phone-like, this. Now the other thing with this, the USB-C at the top, you can use that for a number of things. You do firmware updates on there. You can use it for charging. The battery's got its own built-in charger, and you can also use it to connect to your phone to connect to the SpeedyBee app, which is quite interesting. It comes with a companion app, which, just let me get that fired up, which connects by Bluetooth. Can you see that? Yeah, that's okay. the thing that fooled me for a little while, you have to turn the Bluetooth on here to make it work. And so if you scroll that down, turn that on.
App tuning mode on.
Okay, so hopefully I can see the controller settings. Oh, there's masses of things in here you can play about with. Update the firmware. Full manual. It really is very clever. You have to turn that off to use the controller. Otherwise, well, I think it turns off automatically. But if that's not turned on, you can't talk to it with the app, and you can't fly with that turned on.
App tuning mode off.
Now, the other thing, if you look at the manual, which is quite interesting, so that's just taking you through some of the things. I've taken you through some of the things that are on here already. One of the things you can do is connect out from here on your USB to your flight controller. You can use the SpeedyBee app, really quite clever. So you can do changes, Betaflight changes, forgot the word, Betaflight changes directly on here using the SpeedyBee app. This has got a SpeedyBee flight controller on it. This is the Lumo 18, if you didn't already know, which is all very nice. Tells you how to do all the different customizations. So obviously Chinese version there. So if you look on the website, there's all the different prices, all the different options and so on. It comes in different colors. And I'll leave a link to that in the description so you can take a close look at that. These gimbals actually seem really nice. Very good. I'm a pincher, so this works quite well for me, and I can get to the switches, which is very good. I say it feels extremely solid. The other thing it's got is this two things, one of which, well, I haven't tried either. Well, I've tried the bind. So there's a button which allows you to bind. So if you put this into binding mode by plugging it in twice, you know, the usual thing for your ELRS binding, and then it should automatically bind. I couldn't get that to work, but I've already set this up with my bind phrase, and I think that was why. So you can, in this setting here, turn the ELRS hotspot, and then you can set the bind phrase on here in the same way that you would do normally. So you go onto a computer, connect to this hotspot, put your bind phrase in, and off you go. And that worked just seamlessly, absolutely beautiful. And then it's got this search feature which allows you to scan this QR code on your phone and then use GPS to find your drone. Now, I don't quite know how that works on here. I don't think it wouldn't, because there is no GPS on here. But I'm going to have a bit of a play around with that and see how it goes. But that's it. That's just a quick overview of the spec. I mean, it seems very nice. Well, it is very nice. And I actually really like it. It just feels solid, feels nice, and it's been very well thought out. Now, the only thing you might not like on this is the fact that this is not using OpenTX or EdgeTX, which are open source. This is a closed source system. It's proprietary to OXBOT. But who knows? I mean, the way they've got this working, it really is very good. So there we go, the OXBOT R1 controller, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And it is just a breath of fresh air to see a new manufacturer coming onto the market with an RC controller, because we've got two main players at the moment, and getting something new out there from another manufacturer, it just gives us more choice. And this is a little bit different from all the other controllers out there. I mean, it's a game style, but the OS is closed source. It's not EdgeTX or OpenTX, which is fine, because they've got this working very, very slickly. This display is just incredible. Everything's very familiar. It's just in a slightly different place. You don't have the same controls that you do have on radios that are running EdgeTX, but it doesn't really matter. You know what you're looking for. And I think for beginners, this is a pretty good choice, because you just set it up, go through the setup screens, and it's ready to go. Prices on this, well, this is the Pro version with the CNC gimbals. It's about $130, and then the non-Pro version with the molded sort of plastic gimbals is about $100. But I'll leave links in the description so you can check out all the specs, all the prices and availability. But I think this has got a good chance of becoming very, very popular. Anyway, if you found this useful, give it a like, maybe subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.